Hey, Josh Cripps here. Just want to talk for just a second about insulation and how it can impact both the comfort level in specific rooms or your energy efficiency of the house, and something that I see on a pretty regular basis. So we've got a vaulted ceiling like the one here behind us, and a lot of times what they'll do with that is they'll put a batt insulation on the back side of it, and then they'll just let that go. Well, over time, if that's all they put in, it will fall out. So you really want to have something on the backside of that to kind of hold it up in place. That, and there's probably an argument that says that if you encapsulate that insulation, it'll perform a little bit better than it would otherwise, allowing kind of air to circulate through it. But I can tell with this that we're already got some insulation that's dropped and missing. I don't know if you can see that. Bring it a little bit closer to you there. See, and so in that specific spot, temperature is pretty high because all you really have is a half inch of drywall between you and 130-degree attic, which is probably what it is today, as per my other videos. So you can see that that can be pretty dramatic and impact both how much you're spending to cool the house, but it also will make this room a little bit warmer than the other rooms because you basically got a small heater up there, and this is pretty sensitive equipment. So you can see. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I'll put my handprint right there, and right away you can see it. Oh, you can see that in the video, but I didn't have my hand there for just briefly, and it shows up. So pretty sensitive, um, but it's this type of equipment that allow me to see things in an attic that we might not otherwise be able to get to or prove. Another thing that we see pretty regularly is your attic access. A lot of times it's just a piece of, half-inch drywall, and so you'll get pretty high temps. I think on this one right here, we're seeing what, like 95 degrees, uh, 97, 98 degrees, right? And so it'd be pretty easy to put some insulation above that. I find the most effective probably would be like a 2-inch foam board, maybe 2 layers of 2-inch foam board, because it doesn't fall out and you can make it the same size. And so it's a little bit easier to kind of uh, um, get in and get out without having to replace that batt insulation. In fact, I would bet that when I get up in the attic, you can find a piece of batt insulation just laying on the floor up there somewhere. So, but you can see, I mean, this closet will be noticeably warmer because it's got a 100-degree heater inside of it. So another pretty good spot, right? We've got a vaulted ceiling there behind us, um, and you put the thermal camera on it, and we're looking at what, 92 degrees, something like that, 90, 92, 93 degrees, and you can see it's missing insulation, or it's falling out on that back side of that. We'll see what it looks like in the attic. All right, so we are up in the attic. Um, Bear with me a little bit here, and see if I can turn this around for you. All right, so you can see here, missing insulation, right? Um, and and kind of all the way across through there, right? So that's going to allow, and look, you can see here that they never put insulation in this particular spot. Never was installed. Okay, so this is the first area that we looked at, and you can see, you can't hardly tell that there's anything going on there. The insulation's present, right? And visually from this spot, you can see that it's pulled away from the wall a little bit, but down here's even more so. But it is, and all this heat from this attic is getting inside there, and making that, like I said, a pretty hot wall. So um, the thermal camera certainly helps. This is something that might be missed without it, um, but it all points to why it's important to probably have something on the backside of this insulation to kind of keep it in place and encapsulate that a little bit. So there you can see insulation on either side of it, but not in use. Um, and so that's why I like the foam board as an option instead. I think it's a little bit more viable. So there are limitations to thermal cameras. They're only looking for the difference in temperatures. And so if it's 70 degrees in your attic and it's 70 degrees inside, I'm not going to be able to see anything with a thermal camera. Now, if it's 30 degrees in the attic and 70 degrees inside, we can see the opposite. Now, some things will be obvious, like this insulation missing here. That's an easy call out, right? The insulation over here, what's pulled away from the wall, that's a little more difficult. So thermal camera certainly helps in those types of situations and this time of year.